Hello, hello, everyone out there. Yes, it's the first video that I will be making in English. Hopefully, not the only one and not the last one, but the first of many. And today is a conversation that has not been scripted, it has not been prepared. It is an honest conversation between me and you that will be hard, but will come from the heart. Okay, so today I'm coming to tell you how much of a failure I feel. I do. I really do. It's been several years now that I know that I've been noticing that I was not living on purpose, that I was not living with meaning, that with all the jobs that I've done until now, okay, I would do whatever was needed to do. I would give it my best. But I knew deep down that I wasn't doing what I was born to do, whatever that is. So in every job that I've been through, I've been successful. I want to believe that. In every single one of them, since before university, after university, I've been living in several cities. I've done different jobs. I've been in real estate for the last 7 years. I was considered the reference in my market, in this industry. And the funny part is that even though I was successful, even though I built my own team, even though I was making a lot of money, I was feeling miserable. I know that this may sound, cliche. This is what everyone says. Oh, you have the money and I'm feeling miserable. I really was. I really, really was. I was this person that was struggling every day to get out of bed and do what I had to do, but still doing it. So it came to a time where I was making 5,000 euros commissions, 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 euro commissions. And every time the money would come into my account, people would ask me, wow, congratulations, how do you feel? And my response would be, yeah, okay, it's fine. But really, what I wanted to say was, I feel nothing. I felt empty. And when I started noticing these feelings more and more, it was a trigger for me. So I started listening to these feelings of emptiness, of feeling lost, that have been following me around since university. And more I decided to pay attention to that and to act on it. The thing is, when you're feeling lost, it's exactly that. You're just lost. You have no sense of direction whatsoever, and you don't know where to go. You don't know if you go left, right, front, back. You are so disconnected from yourself that really you're stuck. This is when people say they're stuck, because they're so disconnected that they don't know where to go. And this is what happens when we go into autopilot, because we don't know where to go, we just keep doing the same thing over and over again, day after day after day, more and more disconnected, by the day. So as this was happening to me in the last 3 years of my career as a real estate agent, I decided I needed a break. Okay, so long story short, I was working like every other real estate agent out there, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day, no weekends, no holidays. Even when I went on holiday, it wasn't a proper holiday because I was holding my phone and dealing with everything of the business all the time. So I was never present really to the moment that was happening. And I stopped doing everything I cared about. I stopped dancing, I stopped training, I stopped meditating, I stopped everything because the business was requiring more and more and more of me by the day. So if you want to grow, well, if I wanted to grow, I needed to find more time to invest back to the business. So it got to a point where I actually hired someone to help me with, bureaucracy, administrative tasks, paperwork, etc. All the tasks that was taking time away from my business, from what was more important, than I would delegate. I would give it to this person to deal with. But really, and this is the interesting part, really, so when you hire someone to help you, the goal is for the business to grow, right? This is what would be, this is what would make sense. But this is not what was happening. So when I hired Alexandra, this assistant that came to help me, really her main goal was to give me back some of my life. And the truth is that the business didn't grow. So I never made more money with this help than I was making before. And it's not that she wasn't good at what she did. She was amazing. She was the very best at what she did. She was very committed. She was doing everything she could. She was very professional. And she is a reference, forever for me. And I'm so grateful. But the truth is, her real job was to give me back some time. And this is what she did, in fact. And from when I started having more time for myself, and actually time to think and to spend this time on my own, on myself, and looking at things from a perspective from afar, I started noticing that I was really, really miserable and really disconnected from the person that I really was. And it came to a point where it was not sustainable anymore. Even though she was doing her work and she was really trying hard, I would be more and more disconnected. I would be more and more not motivated to do the things that I needed to do. And it came to a point where really it wasn't sustainable. I wouldn't do the first steps so that she had also work to do. So the first part of the chain was me, and then she would follow through with the tasks that she had to do. And if I was not doing my part, then she would not have work. What started happening was that I realized that many of my talents, many of my abilities were not being used in this job as a real estate agent. I was using some of it, yes, but not my true talents, what my true abilities, the things that I am really good at. And this is the first thing. When we don't pay attention to these cues, then this is when everything starts spiraling and going downhill. And it's what happened with me. It got to a point where I was so away from the business. I just couldn't do the tasks that I needed to do. I just couldn't bring myself to do it anymore. It comes to a point where it's like your body refuses to do those tasks. It's you kind of quiet it for so long. You just like, shh, no, I'll keep doing it. I'm in charge. Then you kind of block your intuition, and you block your inner talk, and you say, no, it has to be done. So let's do it. And it came to a point where I couldn't quiet this voice anymore. So there was a moment where, of course, I couldn't say this to her back then, but it came to a moment where I really didn't know how I was going to pay her salary at the end of the month. And just be aware that for the rest of the world, I was this successful real estate agent. I was doing well. I had an assistant. I was providing training for other agents and helping the company. Um, Many people would come to me asking for advice. How would I do business? How would I convert clients? How would I close deals? And here I was, completely miserable, depressed, and not really knowing what the hell I was doing with my life. You know, things came around, a commission came in, I could pay her salary at the end of the month. But a few months later, I really had to have one of the hardest conversations I ever had to have with her, and say that I would have to let her go, because I actually, I didn't really need her anymore. Because first, the amount of business would not justify her being there anymore, because I wasn't doing what needed to be done, but because I would be stepping down from being a real estate agent, and I would close the company, and we would have to go separate ways. Of course, she wasn't happy, she was sad, she wasn't expecting it, but everything turned out well in the end. So, but just to let you know that sometimes, many times, the image that we want to pass along to people on that side is that everything is perfect, we have everything under control, and most times that's not true. And the reason why we don't say it, the reason why we don't talk to other colleagues or people, it's because on their eyes, on their perspective, everything is perfect. Our life is perfect. We have the house, we have the car, we have the job, we have the holidays, we have the relationship, we have everything. We have the freedom. But sometimes all of that don't mean anything. It really doesn't. It certainly didn't do for me. Even though I had all of that, I was seriously down. I was miserable. I was completely lost. No sense of direction whatsoever. And I didn't know what to do or who to talk to that could help me. And even with the people that I could talk, they didn't know or they couldn't help me. So, without going into a lot of detail, because I will be saving that for other moments, I just want to tell you that I didn't have it all under control. I don't have it all under control today, for sure. But I do know that I am a lot closer today of doing the things that I really enjoy doing, of the projects that I really want to put out in the world, of creating communities where conversations about topics that I actually love and I'm very interested about are going to happen. That I'm closer of bringing like-minded people along in my journey. And for sure that I want to help people that have been in this place that I've been only maybe a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, and how I came out of it. Again, I will tell you, I am not the example. I am not the professional, on how to create incredible lives. I just know for now the cues that you have to be careful and to pay attention when things are starting not to go well. I know how it feels like to be miserable, to be completely lost, to be jumping from one city to the other, looking for the answers, searching it in books, in videos, in coaches, in therapy, in yoga, in meditation, in exercise, in you name it. I've done it all. I really have. And I still don't have all the answers. But what I know today is that I really, really want to create a community where these conversations happen. I want to create a community where people are okay to talk about these things, where people do not feel judged. So many times I couldn't talk to someone about these things because they would say, you're such a girl, you're such a drama, or you just have to keep going, just action, just go, action is the answer, and all of that. And it's so much more deeper than that. It really is. We have these blockages, we have these beliefs that really block us. And for me, it was also the guilt. Me as a coach, and I didn't have the answers. What is that all about? So just telling you that if this message resonates to you anyhow, please text me, please approach me in any way, email, comment on this video, send me a direct message, something, just so that I know that I'm not alone in feeling all of these things. Okay, so if you are feeling like you are completely out of context, that you're doing work that you don't enjoy, that your day to day is on autopilot, that if you're doing things just for the sake of doing things, if you're living a life where the only goal is to pay the bills at the end of the month, and if you feel like you are just surviving, if you have no joy, if you have no pleasure, if you don't have any moments of contentment, please message me and let's start this community. Let's start having these conversations and let's start changing little by little. See you soon.